The name of our organization is the American Council of Engineers of Louisiana. And we represent about 140 engineering firms throughout Louisiana. And our purpose is to get the most value for our companies through the issues that are related to what we do.
Tell us a little bit about what kind of an economic impact does highway construction have on the state of Louisiana?
It has a tremendous impact on because we have ports in New Orleans, ports throughout that use all these transportations, and the shipping uses trucking, and that are all impacted by the roadways and also the highways.
The engineering firms within the state play a very important part in every construction project that goes on, and very instrumental in making sure that the projects are a success and winners for everybody, and so that everybody profits off of a project.
What would you like to see happen in this session of the legislature regarding highway construction projects?
Find some way to get these projects funded. We're behind the 8 ball big time.
Clearly the infrastructure in Louisiana is an important element in bringing the economy forward. It talks about jobs and infrastructure and using supplies to build and improve the infrastructure. So I think we as a community of Louisiana residents should be behind it.
Where does Louisiana's infrastructure stand right now compared to other states, and where does it need to go?
Louisiana has lots of room to improve. Louisiana needs more infrastructure improvement. It will help fuel the economy, and I think fuel the state as a whole.
My message here today at this conference is to talk to the consultants about the future of transportation and the need for a good, solid infrastructure system here in Louisiana, which is what we have been working towards. And with all the economic boom that is going on and the good news with the economy, we need a good infrastructure system. So we're planning for the future, we're working towards the future so that we can accommodate all of that. I-49 North, I tell you, this has just been a lot of fun for me to work on this project, and I guess part of the reason is because as a young engineer in the department, I was the project manager for the part of I-49 from Interloop Expressway to I-20. So now I get to be involved with I-220 up to the Arkansas state line. When Governor Jindal became governor, this was his first priority in order to find all the funding. All the funding was not there for this $670 million project. And so he made it a priority to fund this, and a lot of the funding came through the HB2 capital outlay bond money, also federal earmark money, the federal recovery money, the state surplus money. So all types of monies came in to fund this project. So where are we now with it? Well, we're moving forward with bonding out the unclaimed property fund. There was legislation passed that allocated $7.5 million to I-49 North, $7.5 million to I-49 South. We fully expect to bond out the first of the unclaimed property by this December, and it will generate for the North approximately $85 million to $100 million, and we're going to use that for segment K. So all of the green is under construction, completed, fully funded, and the pink is to K because we're going to be bonding out the unclaimed property, but K is not yet let to construction. So this is what we've decided to do with K. It's a very big project, about a $150 million project. We're breaking it up into 2 phases. So we're going to do the first phase that's going to end where segment J ends and build part of K. We're going to let that in January of 2014. And then we're going to let the second phase of segment K, which is the actual I-220, I-49 interchange, we're going to let that in March or April of 2014. We will be holding a ribbon cutting ceremony within the next 2 weeks on opening part of I-49 North. So we're excited about that. It'll be about 20 miles that we'll be opening. We'll be opening segment E, F, G, H, and I to the traveling public. It will extend from LA1 to US 71. So we picked that one because that segment is complete, about 20 miles, and it connects to major roads, the US 71 and LA1. So very excited about that. And we hear that Arkansas is expecting to be complete with their part, tying in with us up at the Arkansas state line this summer. So we expect to open all of I-49 North from, again, LA1 down here by Section J, all the way to Arkansas. So we are excited about this, excited about cutting this ribbon. And then again, K will be led in January and March or April. It'll take about 3 years to construct. So we expect the construction to be complete on K in late 2016, early 2017. So moving on to I-49 South. So we said, okay, we've got the funding in place for I-49 North. We're on schedule to open it. Let's move our attention to I-49 South. I-49 South is a much more expensive corridor. We have been making improvements along the corridor. We've brought quite a bit up to interstate standards already, but we're going to continue moving forward with that. You can see the completed projects. The current project should be complete December 2013. So let's talk about the upcoming projects. We've decided to go ahead, and it's out, or it will be out for advertisement soon, the Lafayette Connector. This extends from I-10 to Pinhook. The construction cost of this is around $750 million to $800 million. We're going to move forward with the pre-construction efforts of that segment. So you consultants, get your pens and pencils ready and be ready to fill out that 24102. So we're going to move forward, or we are moving forward with the Lafayette Connector. Another project that we have out, it's our 6th design build project, and this is Albertsons Parkway to north of Ambassador Caffrey. So it's, yeah. So it'll be a design build project. We are using, again, that unclaimed property that I talked about. We're bonding out some of the $7.5 million for I-49 South and bonding that out in order to pay for this, this segment. It's about $75 to an $85 million project. We're also moving forward with the design of the US 90 interchange at Ambassador Caffrey. And I've given the directive to my staff that I want to fill in that gap now, because we'll have a gap in between where that design build project ends and Ambassador Caffrey. So we're going to move forward with the pre-construction efforts on that. So you all can look forward to that advertisement coming out in the near future on that part to fill that gap in. So we talked about I-49 North. We'll be opening a segment, about a 20-mile segment within the next 2 weeks, I-49 North. We also talked about the work that we're doing on I-49 South, and these are great corridors within the state of Louisiana for moving, again, that, for the economy and moving goods and services.
What's the link between highway construction and economic development and jobs?
Well, when you have the great economic boom that we're having here in Louisiana and that we're forecasting to have, you've got to have a way to move goods and services, and you've got to have a way to move the people to the jobs. With all the jobs that are being created, we need to have a really good transportation system to move that, and we've been working towards that, and we're going to continue working to provide that.
You need highway construction. You need the infrastructure in order to attract industry here. I mean, industry is going to look at all kinds of things. You'll look at the taxes they have to pay. They're going to look at the availability of labor. They're going to look at location, the availability of natural gas. But the other thing they're going to look at is they have to have the infrastructure to move their product back and forth, whether it's by ports, whether it's by rail, or whether it's by roads. And so you'll find many times when they're talking to a particular industry like Sasol, or Shell's GTL plant. One of the items in the package that you offer to them is an improvement in the roads to have access to and getting products out of those plants. Now, what is happening is we figured out ways of getting engineers have figured out ways of getting oil out of rock, out of shale rock, by fracking, through the fracking process. And as it turns out, these shale plays are located all over the United States. I can't tell you how important that is, how important this map is. If we went back just to 2006, there were only about 4, maybe 5 states where significant amounts of oil and natural gas were being produced. Texas, Louisiana, Alaska, California, maybe Oklahoma. So when some stupid energy policy was recommended in Washington, D.C., which is a redundant phrase, okay? I challenge you to find any energy policy coming out of Washington, D.C. that is smart and makes any sense, okay? When some stupid energy policy came out, it bothered the people in these 5 states. The other 45 states could care less. They were going to get gored. But today, there's a significant amount of oil and gas being produced in 20 states in the United States. Now when some stupid energy policy is proposed, we got a lot of fans on our side helping us out. Now, this is something for you to watch very carefully. I think something that's every one of these shale plays is unique in terms of its geological characteristics. What you're doing, as you probably well know because you're engineers, you're drilling a pipe down vertically until you hit the shale, and then you go horizontally in the shale, and then you break that horizontal pipe up into sections. It used to be only 4, now it's up to about 32. But you start down here and you explode holes in the pipe, and the holes create fissures in the rock, and then you pump water and sand, a little bit of chemicals under high pressure to keep those cracks open, and the oil and the natural gas flow out of it. Okay, that's the fracking technique. Now, as it turns out, if you go to the Baton play in North Dakota, I was speaking in Dickinson, North Dakota about this time last year. I got off the plane, it was 19 degrees and wind chill. And the guy was wearing a short sleeve polo shirt in front of me. I said, "What the heck are you doing? It's 19 degrees. He says, "It gets to minus 50 here. It's still summer as far as we're concerned." I couldn't believe it. It's like a gold mine in town during the gold rush days up there right now. It reminds me so much of what Lafayette looked like in 1979, 80, and 81. It is really amazing. But here is ours. We actually have a major shale play here called the Tuscaloosa Marine Shale. But it's been kind of sitting there for the most part. And the reason is when you go up into the Bakken play and you frack that rock, it is more like rock. And those cracks stay open. This stuff here is real mushy. It's more clayey, to use a technical term. And so when you frack it, it has a tendency, the cracks have a tendency to close back up again. But there is an outfit called Goodrich Resources, which has broken the code here. They've figured it out. This is a play that has a lot of oil in it. And Goodrich says they have figured it out. They have bought up all of Devon's acreage, and you'll see probably a paper yesterday, I think there was an article in the paper yesterday about Amelia Resources buying a whole much more acreage in this area. Most of the activity has been over in the Mississippi, the southwestern corner of Mississippi. Now it's moving over to here. There is a lot of work. There's a lot of construction work associated with drilling one of these wells. There's roads that had to be built, there's platforms that had to be built, and that sort of thing. This is something for us to watch very carefully. This thing could really explode over the next 2 years. 2014, 2015, we have the state gaining about 33,000 jobs a year. It's going to be a good 2 years. Now, it kind of depends on where you are in the state. If you are on I-10 or below, you're going to be really having a good time, unless you're in New Orleans. New Orleans is another item altogether. From I-10 north, you get up around Alex, Monroe, Shreveport. A little less growth, but at least growth, as it turns out.
How has Louisiana weathered the recession compared to other states?
Well, we're one of only 14 states that actually have more people employed today than in January of 08. And so we're very fortunate. We've gotten all the jobs back that we lost during the Great Recession. We started setting records in January. And if you compare that to, say, Mississippi lost way more jobs than we did. I think they lost about 6 or 8% of their jobs during the Great Recession. They've only got back about 50% of those. And that's true also for Alabama. That's true for most of the Carolinas, Florida Panhandle. They're still way below where they were. On the other hand, we're setting record levels of employment.
Let's just remember that we don't have infrastructure if we don't have infrastructure, and if we don't have bridges, we can't get and move around and do the business of Louisiana. It is very important.
It's basically the backbone of our commerce. The highways carry more cargo and commerce than any of the other modes of transportation.
Remember that infrastructure should be on our to-do list of things in Louisiana as it keeps the economy strong and vibrant.
You can visit our website, www.acecoflouisiana.com, one way, and you can get a number of phone numbers and contact information for how to join.